How you feeling?
Man, good, man. I'm good. God is good, man. Got a lot of good things going on, man. So, I'm grateful, man. I can't complain at all.
Okay, it's holiday season.
Yeah.
You know, Thanksgiving just passed.
Yeah.
Around the family.
Yeah, man. Yeah, we actually I just relocated my parents down here. Helped my parents relocate down here. I've been there 20 years. So, well, a little plus 20 years since '02, and so I've been away from my family for since then. You know, so I see them like 2-3 times a year, and so it's good to have my parents here, man. And then so we flew back to Chicago for Thanksgiving, saw my brother and sister, spent time with them, man. So that was nice.
That's a blessing. That's good. How many siblings you have?
Yeah. I'm the oldest of 4.
Okay.
I'm the oldest of 4. So 2 sisters and a brother.
Ooh.
Yeah, man.
Got that big brother weight on your shoulders.
Yeah, big brother, man. It's a big family, 6, grew up, family of 6. So family is real important to me, man.
Good,
real important.
Good. Yeah. Welcome to Consciously Speaking, where every voice finds its space. I'm your host, Pat B.
Your host, M. Nashke.
And we have with us Daniel Hunt Jr., 10 years mortgage broker.
Yeah.
5 years underwriting, several years as an investor. Now you're a realtor.
Yeah, been a realtor now for about 8 years. Yeah, 8 years. Full-time realtor, yeah.
Okay. And so let's take a step back. Say you was from Chicago.
Yeah,
of course,
South
now
Side.
You're in Texas.
South Side, Chicago. Yeah. Went to Hirsch High School, not South Side suburbs. People saying, Calumet here, so they ain't Chicago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I tell people, said, no, I graduated from Hirsch High School. They're like, oh, okay, you
really from
South Side Chicago. Cottage Grove.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
So what was that? What was that experience like growing up? What were some things that interest you?
Man, good. Man, growing up on the South Side, I mean, it definitely wasn't easy. Luckily, I had a strong family. I come from a 2-parent household, so that I think really was my saving grace. You know what I mean? But honestly, man, knowing how to maneuver the streets, man. A lot of my friends are different gangs. I had friends and that was GD, Blackstone, Vice Lords, BDs, all type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I was able to kind of find common ground with all them through sports, basketball. Track. And that was just, I think I take away from my environment just being able to just, read people, what I'm saying? From, friends or, so-called friends or even, police. I mean, there was a lot of stuff going on that was, I saw a lot of injustice, growing up. So just being able to kind of navigate that and be smart. And luckily I was, one of the ones that was able to make it out of that and, here today. So
does that give you survivor remorse?
Man, it kind of as you get older, you start to realize kind of where your strengths comes from. Like my middle 30s, where you start to realize you don't fear a lot of things that I think a lot of people fear.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just because your tolerance is a little bit higher than most people when it comes to like dangerous situations. You know how to kind of talk your way out of things and. Like I said, find common ground with people, from all different walks of life. So I wouldn't take it back. I mean, of course, I would have loved to be born with a silver spoon, but but I mean, that wasn't the case. But I wouldn't take nothing back, man.
So Daniel, let's touch on. You said your upbringing Southside. You witnessed a lot of violence, a lot of injustice. Those personality traits that you developed in that Southside Chicago, how has that developed you as a man today that you learned at a young age?
Man, good question, man. I mean, I love interacting with different type of people. I mean, at first, for a long time, man, I in my younger years was very, afraid and timid to talk to people that didn't look like me. You know what I mean? But I've had different, things that happened in my lifetime that broke me out of that. And now I think that's really helped within business. I mean, I would say, I do the numbers quite often, but I would say close to about 40% of, my clients don't look like me. At first, when I first started out, that wasn't the case. But, being able to find common ground with people, I mean, that's been vital, in my business.
Right.
So
you talked about 40% of your clientele doesn't look like you.
Yeah.
That plays a huge part in marketing.
Yeah.
Because that's big. Because if you start out, you start out attracting your race,
Who you
your
look like.
demographics, what
Right.
you're comfortable with. You have
Right.
to grow uncomfortable and get in uncomfortable spaces in order for you to grow and become a successful realtor as you are today. So let's talk about that
Yeah.
marketing aspect that you tapped into in order to develop to become a successful realtor that you are today.
Man, good question, man. Good. Well, first started off being a realtor, man. I didn't like it. You know, I was making money, but I didn't really enjoy it until I started doing YouTube. You know what I mean? I honed it on YouTube. I think a lot of people, they try to focus on too many different platforms at once. You know, unless you have a social media marketing team to help you do that. You know, I look at these social media outlets as like TV broadcasters.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
TikTok is totally different than YouTube. You know, to
Correct.
me, YouTube is the mecca. I mean, if you can get somebody to
Absolutely.
watch you for 8 to 10 minutes, you know, and then grow that influence and then grow that fan base. I mean, that's phenomenal because
Absolutely.
time is the ultimate currency. You know, it's the ultimate. You know what I mean? I
Absolutely.
mean, I done made a lot of money, lost a lot of money, younger tricked off a lot of money. You know, got it back, but I've always, you know, when it comes to time, the older I get, you know, now being 44 years old, I realize how important that time is, and I value people's time. So my main thing is really YouTube. But once I really started to like go all in on it, you know what I mean? Like my first 6 months, I was basically just trying to grow my price points. My price points that I was selling was anywhere between, my average was like 350, 450, 400,000, 450,000 was my price points on buying and selling. And I wanted to break that, man. I was like, man, how can I get to $1 million? Like, how can I get 800 to 1 million to be like more of my normal? I was like, man, how can I do that? I don't have no friends that got $1 million houses.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't come from a lot of money. So how do I break into that? And I started looking at the people that were around me that were in that space. They don't look like us, man.
Right,
I'm the
at
only
all.
black guy everywhere I go. I
Right.
mean, you got lots of people making money in real estate, selling and helping people buy homes. And the majority of them that are in the 6-figure. I mean, if you're making, the average realtor now in Dallas, people don't know this, but the average realtor is making anywhere between 30,000 to 40,000 a year. That's the average.
That's pretty low.
That's really low. I mean, it takes people to understand that. So people that's cracking 6 figures, I mean, you're already in the top percentile of, you know, people in the industry. So, you know, making more than that, like 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, you're really up there. So I started like really trying to pay attention and try to get help from people. Most of them didn't look like me. Wasn't really getting the help that I needed at the brokers that I was at. I ain't gonna say no names, but the brokers I was at, I wasn't really getting the help that I need. The brokers I'm at now is phenomenal, but so that's why, you know what? If I can go straight to the connect, right? Like maybe go straight to the connect. We cut the middleman. If I can go straight to the connect, which is the home owner or the homeowner or the buyer, if I can get them to see me on a constant and get them into me, man, who knows what I could do?
Right.
So I started acting as if. I started acting as if for like 6 months. I said, I'm gonna keep doing this till I figure it out.
Right.
And 6 months, man, over 6 months, I was doing tours. I don't know if you guys seen my tours on YouTube.
I have.
I did it for 6 months. Like, man, I ain't gonna stop. I did like 2 to 3 production. I made them as best I possibly could. Started getting better and better. Started watching people like Ryan Serhant, Eric Carniver, Ennis Uemizer, Josh Flagg, Josh Altman, all the, kind of heavyweights to see how they doing things, how they, doing their tours and stuff like that. And I just took my own style. We know how to finesse everything.
the culture,
you know what I mean?
right?
We know how to make anything look good.
Right.
So I was like, my method was, man, you know what? At one point in time, basketball ain't look like it looked.
Right.
Football ain't look like it looked. Baseball ain't look like it looked. Now we in, tennis and, golf. Like we infiltrating everything and putting our own sauce to it.
Right.
So I was like, you know what? I don't see anybody that looks like us doing that in the real estate space. I said, so you know what? I'm gonna take that same thing. I'm just gonna do that. And then 6 months, man, it's like boom. I got it. Listing for 1.6. I leveraged that listing, to get more listings in the neighborhood. And I was like, man, I just kept doing it. I took that check, like, man, now I can re-up. And I just got better equipment, got the cameras, got the drones, got everything. I just went all in with the money I had, because now I had some capital. I had some decent capital to really
invest in yourself.
Yeah, to invest in myself. And I took I paid I was like, all right, you know what? I had some savings though. But I was like, man, okay, it's been kind of rough. Savings going down. I'm just gonna take care of like 3 months of my expense. I paid off like everything for 3 months, and I put everything else on equipment.
Right.
Just like everything. I went all in, like, and it's just been up from there.
You said you paid your rent up.
Yeah.
And they say, once you get into real estate, you need to have several months of savings, 77 to be exact, in Texas. So what advice would you give a new real estate agent coming into the field?
Man, that's a good question, man. I mean, I don't know, man. I wouldn't advise people to do what I did. You know what I mean? I'm a little radical, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Because, I am a big risk taker, so you gotta tolerate, your risk level. You know what I'm saying? I quit cold turkey. Like, I burnt the bridge last job I was pissed off. I burnt the bridge. I didn't want to do it no more. Always had entrepreneur endeavors, you know what I'm saying? So I burnt the bridge. But in a perfect world, it would be good to have, 6 months to a year reserve. But the majority, I mean, statistics say the majority of people living paycheck to paycheck. So that's not really that's not the norm, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I had little money saved up. I did, before I was going through divorce, learned a lot from that, went to counseling from that. I mean, that made me a whole better man, just that whole experience. But man, I quit cold turkey, man, not knowing what I was gonna do. Like, I had some money, but I'm like, man, I gotta make money. I mean, it wasn't like I was rolling the dough, especially, with the things I was going through the time. So I mean, like you say, man, I mean, that's good. I like what you said, man. It's gotta be in you, not on you. Like, I saw the vision, I see the vision, I'm steady building it, like you guys doing. I mean, this is a great setup. You don't really need much, man. This is a great setup you guys going on. You guys had to envision this. Like, a lot of people see different podcasts, like they even with our podcast, and definitely want to have you brothers on. But people see it and say, oh yeah, I'm doing a podcast. And they say that for 4 or 5 years, not really putting forth action.
Mm-hmm.
So I believed in my action. I was like, you know what? I'm tired of betting on other people and helping other people's businesses grow. I'm gonna put the chips on me.
Invest in yourself.
And invest in myself, put chips on me. And I really honestly believe this in my heart that, my vibe attracts my tribe. It's billions of people out there. I really feel like there's enough people that's gonna feel my energy, that's gonna feel my vibe, and that's gonna want to do business with me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and even though I got discouraged at times, I've had different life experiences, which I'll probably touch on that later, that just kept me not really, I would say, motivated, because motivation comes and goes, but it kept me disciplined.
Discipline.
You know what I mean? So whether I felt bad or sad or happy, I'm like, I'm doing this regardless. Like, get up, brush your teeth, wash your clothes. I'm getting up, I'm cold calling, I'm getting up, I'm doing these videos, I'm putting them out to the world, I'm putting myself out there. You know what I mean? Not really caring what people think about me, because the right avatar, we don't lie, the right avatar is gonna be feeling us.
Right.
Yeah.
It's gonna feel us. If you don't like us, you don't hate us, okay, that's cool, no problem. This ain't for you. I'm not for you. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else is for you. So I just continue to keep telling myself that, man. And
And I want to dive into what you said. You said you was, kind of going through a divorce as you were, I guess, shifting careers.
Yeah.
What was that experience like, being that, we could get very discouraged and unmotivated when we have personal issues and trying to advance in our career?
Yeah.
How did you get through that? What was that moment like, sitting in that stage of divorce?
Yeah.
And still trying to have a saving and start a real estate career?
Yeah, really, I just really, I know in our community we don't really talk about, therapy and counseling, but I never, I was like the most, it's therapy, like, we
I ain't gonna talk to somebody I don't know.
But I was open to that because I wanted to change quick. I wanted to get over it quick. I wanted to get past things quick. Okay. So I took really just accountability of a lot of things, man. A lot of things that I thought that wasn't my fault. A lot of things that, I felt I could have did better at. I think a lot of times, you always quick to point the finger at everybody else, and you don't really stop and look yourself in the mirror and be like, man, I could have did this, I should have that, whatever. And it was I think it was God's time was supposed to happen, but it leveled me up, and even, other relationships between, guys and women, business and professional. It made me be a lot more just direct, a lot more just a better human being, a better person. So I took that and just really made it a positive by actually going to counseling, getting outside help, because I'd always dealt with stuff on my own, just on my own. And, most times I came out of it, but sometimes it might have been a really dark hole to get out of, when you're going through things by yourself, you don't have really a safe space, brothers to talk to. So that really helped me out, and it really just kind of made me look myself in the mirror, man, and be like, okay, you know, what type of life do you want to live? You know what I mean? What type of legacy do you want to leave? And that's why I decided to go to counseling, man. It was the best thing for me.
So counseling is the safe place that got you out of that dark place.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Because you know, we as brothers, we really a lot of times, you know, you really can't vent to your girl. Your girl's supposed to vent to you. Like you're supposed to be the, you know, in my opinion, you're supposed to be you can tell different things, but you coming in crying about stuff every day. Like you're supposed to be the man of the house. You know, you're supposed to be the man. You know what I mean?
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, but I do think that sometimes we need those outlets because a lot of times a lot of stuff be weighing on our shoulders.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes it gets heavy to where you need to just talk to somebody and be like, okay, you know, and just kind of game plan. That's why I like having real brothers around me to where it's like, okay, you know, nobody's complaining, nobody's crying, but we're really trying to find solutions.
Right.
And trying to really build each other up. You know what I'm saying? It's not about what you could do. You know, it's not all about me. Like, you know, that's why I a lot of people, when they ask me how much I charge for different things. And yeah, sometimes I charge for different things, but I do a lot of stuff just off the love because I know it's gonna come back around. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate even being on this platform because if there's 10, 12, 13 people that decide to follow me, that's cool. That's worth it. It don't have to be a lot. That's cool. That's worth it. And vice versa.
Right.
And that influence is now and the future currency, man.
Right.
It's the currency. So yeah.
And something you mentioned earlier that stuck with me was you said when you was in real estate and you go into these rooms and it's just you. You're the only black person.
Most of the time, yeah,
But
a lot of times.
A lot of times in that space where you're uncomfortable at, you building your network.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the importance of expanding your network, expanding your exposure to different things so that you can expand as a person and become a better individual.
Man, good. Yeah. That's really important, man. I mean, yeah, I think first starting off, it was a little bit uncomfortable, but I've always been, you know, comfortable in my skin though.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I've been very comfortable in my skin. And I've been able to find, you know, my strengths and be able to just really concentrate on that and be confident in that. And I think other people can see that. And it's a way of making them comfortable. I think a lot of people, when they get around me, they see, okay, this guy knows who he is, whether you like it or not. I talk to him a different way. I'm able to look him in the eye, you know, even though you're the only, you know, maybe only brother in the room. And it makes people comfortable. It really does. It makes people comfortable. And I've been able to create some great relationships, you know what I'm saying, with a lot of people, like I said, that don't look like me. But I think it's really just finding a way of how you need to be really confident in your skin.
Right.
And not really worrying about what people are saying about you, because the wrong people are just not going to be interested in you. If you're being your true, authentic self, you know, the right people, the people that are your avatar, the people that are meant to be in your life, they're gonna gravitate. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we talked for a few seconds. Being to a few seconds, I'm like, okay, yeah, he a cool brother. Boom, you know what I'm saying? You know what was understood don't to be spoken. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We vibe. Come your podcast. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna say yes to something I'm not gonna do.
Right.
If I'm not gonna do right there just to make somebody feel bad. No, you know, I'm not feeling it. I'm not gonna do it. I mean, I say it like that, but I'm like, no, okay. Or I don't even brush people off. Like, nah, I really don't have time to do that. It doesn't fit my time. You know what I mean? That way I'm not wasting people's time. But if the energy is there and the energy feels right, then you're gonna do it. Right. You know what I mean? That's what I honestly truly believe in everything in life. You know?
Absolutely.
So
I know, you know, in our culture, you know, a lot of times we say insecurities get covered in designer fashion. And being from, you know, where you were, south side of Chicago, you're in real estate now. And of course, the real estate was totally different in demographics there. Did you always have that confidence? Or was that something you had to build on being from the poverty space that you were in? Man,
good question. Yeah, my confidence always came in my clothing. You know what I'm saying? Always was the back in the day, you know, the baggy jeans and the long white tees and stuff like that. That wasn't never my style. You know what I mean? The guys that would sit on the corner, you know, selling drugs, like, man, you know, you claim to have all this money, but you know, you look like a bum. You know what I mean? It just wasn't my style. You know, my style was always looked at, you know, kind of, you know, people in higher ups that were there to always clean and stuff like that. I was like, man, that's what I want to look. So I was more like Wu-Tang era, Mobb Deep era, where I was like, you know, fatigues and you know, polo, polo Tim, so tough. And yeah, you know, fatigue, stuff like that. And so I was kind of the an oddball, but I was known for that. I was very popular for that. You know what I mean? And that type of confidence within, you know, just me knowing who I was, and I take that tip my hat off to my mother and father, because, you know, that I literally came out the womb with, you know what I'm saying, designer shoes on. You know what I'm saying? Like my name on the bottom of my shoe. I got pictures with my name on the bottom of my shoes, and you know what I'm saying? And 3-4 years old with, you know, with suits and stuff like that. Like,
okay.
So I was
it was already in you.
Born. It was already in me. And I think a lot of my confidence came from that. You know what I mean? A lot of my confidence came from that. That's how I kind of was able to really, like I said, maneuver different circles and kind of get along with, you know, some really rough people.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
10 years mortgage broker, 5 years underwriter, several years investing. What was that transition like, becoming a realtor from an investor? Like, what interests you to go ahead and become a realtor?
Yeah. A real estate investment, I've always been looking. I mean, I've done it all from like wholesaling to flipping to, you know, buying and hold. So I've done that in different spaces. From,
okay.
You know, but I decided to be a realtor really, man, because I just hated corporate America. Like I was a loan officer for 10 years. Now I became an underwriter for 5 years, and you know, I worked my way up to, you know, what I thought was my dream job, and realized like really quick, like, man, okay, you know, I'm in this office. I got this title. Like, this is what I thought I worked hard for, and I don't like it. I don't like the hours I'm working. I don't like the people that I have to report to. I don't like the things that I had to do, like, you know, fire people that I felt didn't deserve to be fired. And that was kind of last draw for me, you know what I'm saying, where, you know, I just didn't like corporate America. And I was always doing, you know, entrepreneur type things, endeavors, but I was like, you know what? This ain't it. I'm tired of doing this. I want to do what I want to do. You know, I wasn't able to be my true authentic self. You know what I mean? You holding back things you really want to say. You're not being yourself, you know, because, you know, you got to kind of fit this more. You're in corporate America, you know.
Right.
I mean, enough said, you're a brother in corporate America. I mean, I'm working for Chase.
Right.
You know, so I just got tired of that, and I was willing to sink or swim. I knew I was gonna swim. That's just where I was at, and so I was, you know, once I got fed up, I just jumped, man. You know, I didn't know at the time. I didn't know 100% what I was gonna do. I had an idea, and then, you know, I said, you know what? Since it's the kind of same space, I have some clients I think that I could help, because I've been in the business for a while. Became a realtor, and didn't know pretty much how I was going to do it. Didn't enjoy it for probably, you know, of course, you know, I was making money. I was able to survive, but I probably for about 2.5 of those years, I didn't really enjoy it. And like I said, until I started doing YouTube. And when my following started to kind of grow a little bit, I was like, man, it's growing pretty fast. I started comparing myself to other people, like, man, it's kind of growing, you know? So I was like, man, I think I got something. And then so I just decided to stick with it, and there's no going back now.
Do you remember the day that you decided to transition from corporate America to
entrepreneurship? Yeah, man.
So
man.
walk us through that, because a lot of times we think entrepreneurship is easy and everybody's out here winning, but entrepreneurship has its ups and downs.
Man, I'll be taking some L's now, you know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to bounce back from. So
walk us through that day you finally, you know, betted on yourself and said, I'm gonna leave this guarantee flow of money and do
man. I was working, and it was actually a number of things, but I think that what broke it was a number of things. But what broke the camel's back is I was really, I mean, that year I did really good, man. I was doing really good, and I was in Chicago for Christmas.
Okay.
And I was supposed to come back to work, I think, on a Monday, but you know, it was like snowed in. It was crazy, man. I saw my family maybe like twice that year, and you know, I had some extra vacation days I had to use, but I just didn't put them in for that time. But I'm like, man, I'm losing them anyway. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna come back Thursday. I'm thinking it shouldn't be a big problem. So I told him, I said, hey, you know what? I got some extra vacation days. You know, and this is me grinding all year. Like, I'm working all year. I was like, I'm gonna come back on Thursday. That's cool. Put it in or whatever. And they made a really big deal about it. And I just felt so upset. Like, man, I'm working all these hours. I done gave all these people this time. I got these extra days. Why they just can't just give it to me? Just because I didn't put it in ahead of time. The year's about to be up. Ain't nothing moving right now. It's end of the year.
It was slow season.
It was slow season, slow time. So I was just like upset. So I was like, you know what? That's it. So when I came back, I was like, you know what? That's it. I hadn't seen my family, and so I didn't come that Monday. I still came in that Thursday, knowing that was it. I just said I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it anyway.
You're gonna do it anyway.
I'm gonna do it anyway. Like I was done. I was like, you know what? I was sitting there. I'll never forget. I was on my mother's couch, and I'm like, you know what? I didn't see my family. I was like, you know what? I didn't tell nobody. I was like, I'm done. And I just stayed there, and I enjoyed my time with them.
Right. Well,
I came back. Yep.
Family is important in that time. That family time is very important.
Yeah.
Tell me if you agree with this statement. I feel like, many people feel like this. This has been a conversation, been debated years and years and years about what school teaches you and what entrepreneurial aspirations teaches you.
Yeah.
Some people say you go to school to become an employee. You go through all these years and train your brain, your mentality, like you said, you didn't feel comfortable at your job. You want your authentic self. They train you to build someone else's dreams.
Mm-hmm.
You spend kindergarten, elementary, middle school, high school, college. You do all those years of your life to build someone else's dream.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine if you put that same time in to build your dream and your aspirations and your entrepreneurial career and your entrepreneurial goals, you will become what people go to school to work for.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about that? Like, do you agree or disagree on that statement?
No, I agree 100%. You know what I mean? Only because I've beat out a lot of people on paper for jobs countless amount of times.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With a lot of time less experience. I think the thing is people don't teach you is how to read people, how to dress on an interview. You know what I mean? How to conduct yourself, what questions to ask. You'd be surprised that people got all type of degrees and don't understand that they need to do a little bit of background and research on a company so they can be knowledgeable on the interview. The interview is just not them talking to you, it's you talking to each other to make sure this is a good fit for us both. You know what I'm saying? Yep. I know 100. I know 8 times out of 10 when I walk into a room, if I got the job, it's up to me not to say something stupid. Right. A lot of people don't understand that. I'm gonna come dressed the right way. I'm gonna come with my questions to ask them, and it's not a front. I'm really trying to understand if this is a good fit.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Those are things that the school just don't teach you, and you're gonna get beat out by somebody like me or us who want a job because you think that your master's degree or your bachelor's degree is going to get you the job. It's not, especially when, I'm at, like, for instance, I told a couple of my friends back in the day, because I used to always get jobs. Like, I always get jobs, no problem. My friends be like filling out online when internet first came in, they couldn't get jobs. I'm like, man, you need to go outside.
Right.
I would go to places like, whether I had the money or not, I looked like I did. Sometimes, a lot of time I did, but when I didn't have the money, I would still go to places like Del Frisco's or Nick and Sam's, different places where high value people are at. You know what I'm saying? I would order maybe a drink at the bar. That's all I would order at the bar and look the part. You'd be surprised how many conversations I would come up with, cars that I would change, tell people, hey, you're looking for, what do you do? I say, oh, this is my profession. I'm actually, looking for a job, such and such, so that. Man, I've gotten 5 jobs. I can think, I know all of them. I've gotten 5 jobs, but actually being at restaurants, bars, near hotels, near airports. You know what I'm saying? Where people are shaking and moving. Where things happen. You know what I'm saying? You staying outside behind a computer. I understand this is the technology age. I'm with it. Like I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? But on paper and online, you're not that special.
Correct.
You think you're special, but you're not. You're not special. I'm not special. Mm-hmm. You got to go outside, get in front of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, like if you would have called me or we saw each other on social media and you asked me to be on your podcast, man, you know how many DMs we get? Right. You know what I'm saying? I understand you got 300 something. I got only 48,000 subscribers on Instagram, and my DMs with people be asking me stuff is crazy. Right. You know what I mean? So I only can imagine, once you get higher up, but you're not special. Why should I do something with you when you got 100 other people asking the same thing?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you was outside.
Right. Because it's not
you was outside.
Not about what you know, it's about who you know.
Exactly. I met you. You was connected with a cool brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, cool. Like the energy. Let's connect. You know, so I tell everybody, yeah, let's use the technology. We're using it right now. I love to utilize it. I'm always on ChatGPT. Me and ChatGPT, we best friends.
Nah,
you know what I'm saying?
Me
like,
too.
I'm using all of it. I'm trying to stay up there on all of it. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? I'm up at 5 o'clock. I'm here with you brothers now. I'm outside. You know, I'm gonna keep being outside. Exactly. And that's what people respect, man. They feel that energy because they know it's genuine. They know that, you know what I'm saying, I could tell from your energy that you guys are trying to build something here. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I always like being a part of real people that's trying to build something and they willing to, you know what I'm saying, put all the chips on themselves.
Right.
You know, I like being associated with people like that.
What I took out of that is know your worth.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Like you said, people going to interviews seeking a job, not knowing anything about the job, not even knowing their own self. Yeah. You have to know what you bring to the table. You have to know your values. You got to know what you're valuing in that company that makes you want to work for them, because you're going to spend your time, which is your most valuable asset, at that company. So you need to walk in an interview with that type of mindset. Mm-hmm. It's a pleasure for me to be here interviewing with you for me to get this job.
100%.
You got to know exactly what you want out of that opportunity. So I definitely agree with you. Have your own questions that you want to ask those interviews. It's a conversation. This is a negotiation. This is not you telling me I'm gonna bring you on for $14.50. No, I demand $30. This is what I'm gonna do when I come in here. This is how I'm gonna build your company. This is what I'm gonna be dedicated, and this is what I'm passionate about doing. So I'm not taking anything less than this. If you can't afford me and afford my time, then thank you. Nice doing business with you.
100%. I mean, you selling yourself even if it ain't a sales position.
Hello.
You always selling yourself. You know what I mean?
I think we look at it like that because we always feel like they're doing us a favor.
Right.
When in reality, you know, we have some value and some work to that company as well.
100%. The time is the most valuable thing, in my opinion, one of the most valuable things on earth. Me giving you my time and 5 days a week, like, you know, is this job worth it? Same thing with when it comes to relationships or anything, you know what I mean? Like, you know, women look at men a lot of times and vice versa. Like, is this guy really worth my time? Mm-hmm. That's why, you know, I tell you, like a lot of my single brothers, man, you need to level up as much as you possibly can. You know what I'm saying? Level up, put all your energy into yourself. You know what I mean? So you're not chasing it. I'm all about courting. I'm all about courting. Absolutely. You know what I mean? You're all about courting, even with a job. You're all about courting. But at the end of the day, game recognize game, real should recognize real. I'm out here, I have a vision, even if you ain't made it, but you make clear you have a vision, you're going to make it, you're going to do this, you're leveling up, you're sharp, you know what I'm saying? You have stuff to offer, you know what I mean? People, whether it be personal or business, you know, should be able to recognize that.
And I told Pat a couple of days ago, what I say, y'all are chasing these women chasing these men like us. Men that's chasing our goals and dreams, they have a vision. Yeah. Don't get stuck at the bottom chasing a woman that's chasing us, because you're going to always be in last place.
You're going to be in last place.
Go find you some aspirations, go find you some goals, man, and go ahead and chase them. Man, and everything else will fall into place.
Yes. The real women out here, they see you.
Hello.
They see you. You know what I'm saying? They definitely see you. And you know, if you'd be surprised if you just hone in on something, like you're obsessed with something, you know what I'm saying? And you're not obsessed with just finding that right one, that energy. I'm telling you, it might sound corny. I know people tell it might sound corny. My girl, it's gonna find you. It's gonna find you.
I don't think men realize how attractive it is to women when you're passionate about something. Right. Like, especially when it's not them, like when you're super driven about something and you just know you're going to make it, like that attracts them more. And you just, you know, putting your dreams aside and following them, like you said, they ain't going to do nothing but leave you for someone like him. Yeah. So it's like, make sure you good, make sure you're investing in yourself, make sure you're right to be, you know, the man to lead her.
Yeah. I mean, if your stuff really ain't together, then you really, I mean, unless you got somebody that really sees your vision, really is down with your vision, which there are women out there, you know, they're definitely there. Then you really don't need to be thinking about women. Like, you really don't, honestly, because you're gonna end up taking what you can get and not what you really actually choose and want. It's going to happen. You may not think that way because you're out, you're having fun, this, that, and other. But when you wake up and you're older, and you had nothing to show for yourself, and you're not doing anything, you know, with your lifestyle, you realize that, okay, now I have to settle. You know what I mean? And that's just not, that just ain't it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm at a point where in my life, like, I'm not trying to settle for anything. My clothes, my cars, you know what I'm saying? My woman, like, I'm not trying to settle. I don't want to settle. I want exactly what I want. And I know exactly what I want. You know, we are very logical thinkers, really clear thinkers on, okay, if I want this, I have to do this. I mean, I think a lot of people live in delusion these days. They're delusional. You know, man, you think you're going to find a good man and you got OnlyFans, baby, it ain't happening.
Hello.
You know what I'm saying? It's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of guys out there that's saying different things. You know what I'm saying? I know we getting probably off topic, but you got guys that's, you know what I'm saying, feeding your ego because they just want to get with you, but you not it. You not it. It's period set. And the same thing for those guys that think, okay, you know, you might look good and this, that, and other, and, you know, you might be able to have that, you know, finesse to get them, but when they with you,
what else
they
you
really
had to
see
offer?
you, you know what I'm saying? They see that you know what I'm saying, you playing video games all day with no goals, no aspiration, no passion. You ain't it, bro. You not it.
Get out that couch.
You know, you are successful, you are strong-headed and driven. How do you stay focused in the midst of that?
Man, I mean, in my early 20s, I was that guy. I'm not acting like I was that. I was that guy. You get older and you grow from that. But you were saying basically how I stay.
How you stay focused? We like to, you know, say we are high value men, but you know, we get distracted so fast, and that could take you back a few years.
It can, man. I mean, my stories. I don't know how much time we got. You know, so I don't know if we on time, Sal, but let me see. What's this? 23. So early spring of 19, man. I had a really bad, massive heart attack. That basically, long story short, took me out of here, and I was basically flatlined, don't remember anything for 24 hours. So they had me on, my son was there, and they basically, because he was the only person that they could ask, you know, what do you want us to do? And of course my son, you know, being very strong, was like, man, just keep him alive, you know, keep him alive. So long story short, man, you know, come back from that, the catheter, stuff all in, tube down my throat, all this and that, man. Coming out of that, man, I think I'd probably say probably about a month and a half later, it actually really hit me. It was traumatizing what happened, but it really hit me. Like, I'm not brain dead. I could use all my limbs. Like, you know, you suffocate like you drowning, man. There's a lot of things that can happen to you. You could be a vegetable. You know what I mean? And I know a shadow of a doubt what God did. I won't go into depth, but I know a shadow of a doubt. Nobody can tell me that God ain't real. You know what I mean? And absolutely. I told him that the experience that I have, that whatever podcast I do or whatever class I teach, I would let people know what he did for me and how he made it very clear that, you know what I'm saying, if there's a cross you can't bear, he'll pick it up. You know what I mean? I mean, that experience I had no control over whatsoever. So when I get insecure about stuff or get scared about stuff, I'd be like, man, if I wasn't here, it wouldn't matter anyway. If I was here, that debt you got, that breakup you got, whatever you got going on, it's not gonna matter. It wouldn't matter anyway. You know, I get to feel nervous. I get to feel, you know what I'm saying, disappointment. Like, I look at like, man, I get to feel this because seeing and experiencing your last breath and then being able to come back to tell about it is a life-changing experience. I remember exactly how I thought I was going to go out. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is how it happens. And then being able to come back from that, I always go back to that. I always remember that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like almost my superpower. Mm-hmm. I don't care what the wrong people think about me. You're the wrong person. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to do what I'm going to do no matter what. That's just no matter what, because I feel like if I wasn't here, it wouldn't matter anyway. Mm-hmm. That's just kind of how I move, and just that's what keeps me motivated, man. It's forever in my head.
Where were you?
Man, I was driving in my car, and I had a very, very light case of asthma. I ain't took asthma medicine in like 6 months. You know what I mean? 6 months. Okay. And it was rainy and very misty that day, like really smog, you know, and I was noticing that my lungs was kind of getting tight, and I hadn't taken medicine like a long. If I take it like once or twice a week, I'm good, you know what I mean? But I ain't took it in months, thinking that okay, I'm all right. And yeah, man, I was driving, man, and I had an asthma attack. Luckily, I was probably like 8 to 10 minutes away from a urgent care off of in Little Elm off of Maine.
Okay.
And yeah, man, I literally barely get in there, man, crawled into their car parked halfway in handicap. And yeah, the doctor ended up coming rushing out. He was like, okay, you're gonna be okay, you're gonna be okay. And all I remember telling myself is all I remember telling him, he was an African doctor. And all I remember telling him is, man, no, I'm not. And I blacked out.
That's crazy. I got asthma too, but you just inspired me to go ahead and start taking that pump because sometimes I feel like I can't breathe.
Yeah, man. Don't play around with it, man.
I got asthma real bad too.
Yeah, man. Don't. Yeah, because you feel like you feel like honestly you feel like you're invincible. You know what I'm saying? Until something trigger, something might trigger, and you might like, man, you don't, it's too far, and then you just gone. So, yeah, man. That's how it happened, man.
Wow.
And next thing I know, I woke up in Medical City, and yeah. With all my clothes, a gown on, so it's like God bless him, man. I mean, they throw my, man. I don't even know all the hands that probably touched me. You know what I'm saying? Like
God's hands.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? It was
God's
definitely,
Hello.
man. So I always remember that, man. I'll never forget it, man. I'll never forget it.
We thankful to have you here, man.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Yeah.
And I want to get into the outfit. One of the first things
drip.
you said was you're into fashion.
Yeah, man.
Growing up, your fashion was a little bit different than the people on the corner. So, what got you interested in fashion, and what are you doing today in that industry?
Man, I've realized, and nobody can tell me different. Nobody can tell me different. Man, listen, man. People are judging you when they see you. Facts. Off top. It don't. I know. It may be unfortunate that we live in this type of world, but my younger years, I was probably like 17, 18. I had, believe it or not, I had braids. You know what I'm saying? And I was going to different job interviews, dressing like a polo and some slacks. And man, I was like, man, I can't get a job. I could not get a job. I don't think I'm dressing, so then my dad was like, boy, you need to put on one of your suits from church, like you going from church. So I'm like, what? He said, yeah, what are you doing? He was like, go put on that black suit. I had black suits. I had suits, but it's my first time looking a job. So I got a suit, and he was like, and you need to cut your hair. And I didn't want to cut my hair. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I got my braids. I didn't want to come here, but it was the corporate. If I want to go into corporate America, it would probably have been different. I could have come here. Mm-hmm. But I'm trying to go to corporate America. So I'm like, man, I don't want to cut my braids. So I ended up doing that. I ended up putting a suit on. Man, let me tell you something, man. The next I had 4 job interviews within a 2-week span, and I had offers from all 4 of them. All 4 of them I got job offers from. Whenever I go into Starbucks or anywhere now, man, if I'm dressed in a suit, people recognize. They respect it. They're calling me Mr. I don't care where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? If I'm in a hoodie or something like that, I understand what it is. Because I dress like that all the time too. Jeans, people see jeans or, hoodies, whatever. Like I dress like that too. But when I want to be respected and I want people to recognize, man, I'm gonna be one of the illest dressed in the room. If it's a networking event, like you're gonna remember. Everybody remembers that. Oh yeah, the bald guy with the nice suit on, with the blue suit. Like you gonna remember. You're going to remember me from out the crew. That is going to happen. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I stick out. That's how you stick out. Everybody should find a way to how they should stick out. Everybody has their own flavor. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Some people might, a lot of people might be like, oh yeah, the brother with the beard. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Everybody has their own thing. So you got to find out what your thing is. With me, it happens just to be fashion so I can be, remembered. I'd have my picture on my resume. Like I was one of the first people. I would go to, this is just a shameless plug for people out there looking for a job. If you ain't got your picture on your resume, I mean, I don't know what you doing.
No, mine on my resume. I keep mine on my resume.
Yeah, but back in the day, I was like one of the first people that had a picture on. I would go to these job fairs, and it'd be like a stack of resumes, no picture on it,
just words.
Just words. You know what I'm saying? I had my picture on. Back in the day, I was on Fiverr. Like I was when Fiverr was first Fiverr. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Had my picture on there.
That's a gym. He just gave y'all a gym for I was watching.
Have my picture on there. Go just, if you don't, for all my ladies and my brothers, man, if you don't, definitely black, blue, gray, business suit. Don't you dare take it off the rack and put it on. You better go get it tailored to yourself to fit. If you don't buy anything else for business, buy at least those 3.
Right.
White shirt. That's it. White shirt, tailored up. make sure your shirt tail up because everything needs to stand alone. If you take your jacket off, your shirt needs to stand. The outfit needs to stand alone. Everything, all
every
layers
piece
need to stand alone. You know what I'm saying? Because you think people not paying attention to that, but the attention's in the details. People are paying attention. I used to hire people. I used to pay attention. I'm not saying it, but people pay attention to that, and they be like, man, if he's that detailed with himself, he's probably gonna be that detailed in his job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
You got to dress how you want to be addressed.
You got to. You know what I mean? If depending on what you're trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's amazing how I used to have homies back in the day that even with like women, they go dressed like, dude, you finna meet her like that? Like, bro,
right. What they say
dude,
about you.
What you trying
they
to
be
do?
feeling
Like,
themselves. They
yeah,
think
like,
they
what you
the
trying to do? But we guys can be real with each other like that. Like, girls, they gonna be like, oh, girl, you look good. You know what I'm saying? God, like, dude, your car's dirty. Like, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna bring it back to the crib and you ain't even got water to offer. You ain't got no wine. You ain't got some candles. Like, you ain't gotta be, a Batman. But I mean, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, be prepared, for a situation.
Nah, for real.
And so, yeah, man, it's just, yeah, man, I like what you said, man. You got to dress how you want to be addressed. 100%.
Nah, for real. Hey, if you ain't
100%.
if you ain't ready, better get ready.
Right,
so are you doing anything in fashion?
Yeah, man. Daniel Hunt Collection by the Clothier, man. We have we got like 4 or 5 different designs.
Okay.
That's about to really be like drop. You can get them now, pre-orders now. So
where can I get them at?
Man, you can now you can go to theclothier.com. I'll got send you guys the information if you want to, but you can also for pre-orders you can also DM me. But I'll send the website you can go to order pre-orders. But yeah, we're getting them in bulk now. Got the tags going and all the fabrics and things of that nature they're working on. So yeah, man, that's really started. It's been something I've been wanting to do for a long, long time. So it's finally now to see it good to come to fruition. These last couple months. So yeah, man. Most right now it's just suits. Right now suits and tailor-made shirts. And then, hopefully we'll just expand from there.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
That's where preparation meets opportunity equals success.
Yeah, man.
You preparing and opportunity came, and now it's time for success. It's time for the book. You got the book in order. You ready to go. You ready to roll.
Yeah, man. Like how what you guys doing, man. That's why I tip my hat to you guys, man. That influence, finding your brand, you can then just branch off to all different type of things, man. People gonna come to you. They see you doing something, they want to be a part of it. They want you, sponsors. Like people like, you go to the channel, you see, Lamborghinis, all type of stuff. They'll be sponsors, be sponsoring all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? Some of the cars be, all them cars be mine. You know what I'm saying? Like, all them cars be mine, be sponsors. The first, I would say almost 30, 40, well, not the first 34, I'll take it back. Probably after my first, I would say 12 or 13 videos, the next like 20 or 30 videos were sponsored by Gary I Menswear suits. You know what I'm saying? So I used to have this stuff, you know what I'm saying? So I was getting, people's like, man, he dressed clean, but those were $500, $600, $700 suits that were sponsored the channel.
Right.
Wow. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, that's why I really encourage people, love what you guys are doing, man. If you got something you want to get out to the world, or you're trying to really push your brand, man, push it. You never know what's going to happen. Motivational speaking, I wasn't thinking about motivational speaking gigs when I first started out, but to put that in the description, if you're looking for, all different business opportunities, motivational speaking, pretty much list what you want to do. They see you on the platform, they see what you're doing. Then they're like, okay, if they like you, then they're going to call you.
I just want you to talk about the importance of being humble, being a man of many hats. You wear a lot of hats. You're very successful. Got a lot of stuff going for you. You're a family man. You believe in God.
Yeah.
God keeps blessing you. Keep blessing those around you. Just talk about the importance of being humble and remaining yourself.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because you definitely need to be humble, man. Because I think God has ways of definitely humbling you. You know what I mean? Like, the other thing I never forget. I was probably 27 years old, and within a 6-month span, I made quite a bit of money. You know what I'm saying? And from working, loan officer. I mean, if you had a pulse, you can get a loan. Them back in days, back 07. I mean, back
give
for
that loan.
Like anything.
Like
people ain't even supposed to be giving loans too.
Yeah, man. Like I mean, 25, 30K was that was an okay month. You know what I'm saying? So being that young, man. I mean, man, you think you fly? I mean, I had 1.4 cars and. I mean, I was hey, yeah, let's go to Vegas this weekend. Like on Thursday, you going, and let's go to California. Let's go to, I was buying tickets that day for the next day. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just stuff. You was just doing stuff. And God humbled me real quick. And I realized that, I wasn't ready to be, a multimillionaire. Like I wasn't doing right by the money. I wasn't ready. I didn't have the knowledge, because a lot of us we don't have the knowledge. We make money, we don't know what to do. We're not saying we're not investing it. We're not doing the right thing. We're not doing the proper things. And, by me losing it all, like now making money, like, I know what to do with it. I know how to reinvest it. I appreciate it. You know what I mean? I thank God for it. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that I take for granted at all. So yeah, man, I don't know if that pretty much.
So if it's not too personal to ask, when you said God humbled you, what was that? That personal experience like? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I mean, I was working. I had a debt buying company with a friend of mine. So I was doing loans with at the time it was with Countrywide, and I had a debt buying company where we'd buy debt, penny dollars, and we would then flip it. Basically, we flip debt, and it did quite well. Long story short, the company went under. We had to close shop. And I was used to making money and spending money a certain way that when it stopped, my spending didn't stop, because I'm used to a different type of life. I finally got used to a lifestyle, and I figure like when you're making a certain amount of money and it's coming a certain type of way, you like, shoot, I'm about to be a millionaire. Like it's only a matter of time. Like but I was in that space of keep grinding, keep being smart. I got comfortable, like, oh, it's gonna come back. Whatever. Blow this.
Them blow this, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, I blew it. It was all, at some point, it was all gone. I had to get a job. I'm like, man, next thing I look up, because, man, it got to a point to where, man, I would look at my account like maybe once a month, a couple months. Like, I knew I had money. Like, I was just spending money. It was coming out spending money. And so it was months that went by. I wouldn't look at my account. I realized, I'm like, man, what? At the time, like now, if our definition of broke and some other people's everybody's definition of broke is different.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
My definition of broke used to be, negative account. But I looked at my account, I'm like, man, I only got 20,000. That was broke to me at that point. When before then it was like, oh, we only got $300. I'm broke. I'm like, whoa. I'm like, wait a minute. So now I'm trying to code the brakes, but now it's too late. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause stuff's still going out. Man. So that was definitely a humbling experience, man, because it got pretty rough for like a year, man, a year and a half. Like I was trying to really kind of bounce back and get my groove and kind of get out of that rut, that monster. You know what I'm saying? So, that experience really kind of, when it comes to money, it humbled me and made me be a lot smarter. So I told God, I said, okay, you know what, God, I understand why, you didn't let that keep going. But now when it comes, I know what to do. You know what I'm saying? I know what to do, and I appreciate it because I know it can be gone.
Right. And you talked about the importance of financial literacy. You talked about the importance of knowing money management. We all know that money can buy anything, but let's talk about the most important sector, which is credit. Because without credit, you can't do anything.
Yeah, man. Without credit, you can't do anything. I mean, I just closed on a 1/2 acre property, lakefront property. It's been one of my dreams to do that, and it's been just knowing even financial literacy without even credit. And that was done owner finance.
Oh, man,
you know what I'm saying? Owner financing. Owner financing, seller financing, but knowing your credit. A lot of people think, when I go out, whatever, you may have like American Express. Some people think it's really hard to get an American Express card or different type of things I say. And I get a lot of people ask, man, you got American, like, people don't. I'm like, it's really not that difficult. It's just understanding, how credit works. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And how to leverage it. Right. You know what I mean? Right now, I got like probably 16 credit cards. You know what I mean? I got about 16 credit cards. Only got probably about 5,000 outstanding on them. Probably got about 70,000 in credit, right? I just did a transfer on one card to a new Discover card and got another Amex. So all that's to zero. So I'm putting good credit with this credit company.
Right.
I have 2 credit unions that I had credit with them for over probably about $7,000-8,000. Paid those off down to where I had that $5,000, credit transfer. I credit transferred that over to Discover. Now I have a good relationship with American Credit Union and Navy Federal, because you also have not only your credit score, but with credit unions you have your internal score.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right?
Yep.
So that's why I have a car with 2 cars with American Credit Union. I have a car with Navy Federal. That relationship is there. So all they see is, man, this dude paid $6-7 grand off.
Yeah, he paid his money back.
He paying his money back.
We'll
You know what I'm
loan
saying? When really I'm just
transferring.
you know what I'm saying? I got a ton of it, but I only keep it way under. You know what I'm saying? But it's just all you got to know how to play the game so you can leverage more credit. Knowing how to learn to understand what debt to income ratio is,
right.
and things of that nature, and knowing how to manage it. I mean, man, yeah, man. I mean, this you know how to do that. You can pretty much
do anything you want.
Because
all debt is not bad debt. All debt is not bad debt.
It's not bad debt. And like the people like, man, you got like one of my cars, I drive it, I have it, but I got 2 cars on Turo.
Right.
Which is pretty much almost paying for all the cars.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a cool play that, I throw out to people. Like, if you want a new car, or if you want like multiple new cars, if you want, more new cars, I mean, you can make it happen, just, especially with credit. And then find just creative ways. I mean, man, it's so much stuff, man. Facebook Marketplace. I read myself off from Facebook Marketplace, man. You get your commercial insurance for little to nothing, nowadays. Turo, that's a play. Believe it or not, people still going on Craigslist.
Yeah, I'll be on there. I'll be looking at dogs on there.
Yeah, man. Yeah. People on Craigslist, like people don't really be,
You gotta tap into everything. You gotta utilize your resources. Utilize every resource that's in front of you.
Yeah, man.
I'm telling you.
Yeah,
you gotta
man.
tap in.
You gotta tap in. So yeah.
South side of Chicago, transition, Dallas, Texas, doing real estate. You've been over here for over 20 years at this moment.
Yeah.
When did you feel like your voice found its space?
Man, that's a good question. Really, I think like I was trying to find my space for a while when I was especially doing YouTube, for a while. And I guess there was always a little bit of in the back of my mind, like, man, could I be doing better? Are people really, really feeling me? I was getting more in the space of where, I really didn't care, 'cause I know the right people would come. But I think after that last experience back like in 2009, I just really, this may not be answering your question, but I got to a point to where it's like, I really didn't care. Like, I was just happy to be here, and I'm going to do me. And I'm going to go out like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like, I'm going to go out like that. Like, and I think that's what helped me find my space. You know what I'm saying? Like, to a point to where, some people might be like, oh, man, he full of crap. Okay, cool, whatever. Well, I ain't for you. You know what I'm saying? But I keep going back to it. If I wasn't here, it wouldn't matter anyway.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I guess it's to the point to where it's so easy to be my authentic self, whether you like it or not, because I just really continue to keep playing them that last moment in my head. So I know that kind of really doesn't answer your question when I get on space, but I guess maybe that moment is when I kind of, like a month after, is when I kind of really, really found myself and got like real confident. I mean, it's it's only been probably 2 years since I was talking to my first speaking game in front of like 100 people for an hour, teaching a class on how to be confident in front of the camera. Like, though me wasn't always been confident, but I wasn't as confident of talking in front of 100 people for an hour to actually teach a class. And now I've taught like 13, 14 moments last 2.5 years. You know what I'm saying? It's just something like that moment is what clicked. It didn't take 30 something. It didn't take like 30 something plus years for it to click. It took that moment. Like told one of my homeboys long time ago, and he was small, like, bro, you need to quit smoking. You need to quit smoking. He's like, no. And he had like a trauma experience, that happened. And he went to a doctor, and the doctor was like, listen, if you don't quit smoking, you know what I mean? And he was like, all right, I'm gonna quit. And he quit. Like, man, it took me, it took me 4 years to quit. I said, no, it didn't. It took you 3 minutes to quit. You told the doctor said, if you don't do this or else, and you quit. You know what I'm saying? It was something that happened that make you switch.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I do when I teach classes. I try to find something to tell people, if I possibly can, that makes them switch to where they're not just temporarily motivated. They decide to, you know what, I'm going to add this technique, even if it's just one technique, to be disciplined enough to change. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, absolutely.
And yeah, man, that's when the moment was for me.
Definitely, we definitely appreciate you, Daniel, man.
Man, thanks for having me, man. Thanks for love what y'all doing. But yeah, shout out your stuff for my people. I don't know how many people on it now.
It's all right, man.
But yeah, but shout y'all stuff out.
Man,
for real.
Thank you, man. Hey, y'all go tap in with Constantly Speaking, where every voice finds a space. We had Daniel Jr. here today, man. Wonderful guest. Me and Pat B hosting. We definitely appreciate y'all for tuning in and listening. We definitely appreciate the conversation. Yeah. It was well needed. I think our viewers are going to love this when the episode drops.
So, yeah.
So, man, thank you for your time.
Man, thank you for having me.